Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ryan the Realtor here with the Knowlton Group. I had a little bit of a deal that kind of happened a couple days ago with another agent. So I kind of just wanted to talk about it, maybe give a little advice on it, how I dealt with it, and see what you guys think. Pretty much what kind of went down. This is actually one of the first deals that I did. Actually, it is the first deal that I did. So we went in. My clients loved the house. We put an offer on it. It was accepted. Um, had the inspector come out, and there was a few issues. One, federal the breaker box out in the garage was a Federal Pacific box. I was told by multiple seasoned agents and a couple of other insurance places that's just not a very good breaker box, and a lot of insurances won't cover it. So after the inspector came out, we had asked for on the repair request to replace that box. The inspector also stated that the service drop, so that's the cable from the home, the electrical cable from the home that heads up to the pole outside the home. The service drop, it was actually at 8 feet, and code is going to be 10 feet. So that was another thing we had requested, as well as a bushing inside of the breaker box in the interior of the home. The crazy thing with that was when he was going over that with me, he said, "Hey, this is the bushing in there is going to prevent wires from touching each other and causing a fire." So I put my finger in it, and I was like, "Hey, you talking about this? And is this something I can do myself?" And he's like, "Get your finger out of there," which tells me, "Hey, we need a licensed electrician to do it." And if you know me, I don't like touching electricity. So we had asked that. Those were the only things we asked. There was a safety issue, a code issue, and an insurance issue. Something that I think we should get replaced to do the deal. There was some rot out in the exterior and a few other things that we could have asked for, but no big deal. We left those alone. The listing agent did give me some trouble. She tried to go back and forth with me, say they don't want to fix it, but eventually we came to terms. Sellers agreed to replace that stuff with the service drop as well, and the bushing came out to about $2,000. Now, just to kind of explain as well, with the interior breaker box that was located in the closet. Okay, this was a little bit of an older home. This breaker box was actually sitting behind clothes. It took us a while to find. It's sitting behind clothes. Code is actually nowadays you're not allowed. It needs to be uncovered. You have to have 3 feet of distance on each side. Now the nice thing is said, like I said, it is grandfathered in, but being that we wanted the service drop fixed and the bushing added, if a licensed electrician comes in, it is no longer grandfathered in. So seller comes back, says, "Hey, it's going to actually be instead of $750 to $1,000 to replace that and do those minor things, it's going to be about $2,000," and asked if we were willing to cover half. And I talked to my buyers. We agreed. Hey, yeah, let's get it done. So we're ready to rock. So that's all we asked for. Of course, a couple weeks later, mortgage company sends out the appraiser, and appraiser notices the rot out in we'll call it the sunroom or the extension outside the home. And it was something that we had noticed, like I said, with our initial inspection, and not only initial inspection, but our walkthrough and the showing. I told the buyers, "Hey, it's something that we could always tear it down when you buy it, and you screen it in, do whatever you need to do, and it's a metal roof on it. It wasn't installed correctly, so it is not a waterproof room. So that's probably the best route to go, anyways." So they forewent that for that request to repair that. But anyways, like I said, the appraiser came in, and being an FHA loan, he denied that. He said, "No, we want it replaced for us to put a loan out on this." So I took that information to the seller and said, "Hey, this dry rot needs to be replaced." And actually, at that point, it wasn't even dry rot anymore. It was rot. And we had it wasn't a waterproof room. In Kansas, we get a lot of rain, so. I said, "Hey, we're going to need to rip some of that out, replace the trim around the the window, and replace that rot." It was finally done. I went there a couple days ago with my buyers just to inspect everything, make sure it's good, and they're happy with it. And when we showed up, it was still rotted. It looked like it was covered up. Prior experience, I have done roofing and construction and stuff like that before I was a realtor, so I knew, when you replace siding and trim and wooden things and stuff like that, if it was to get soft, it takes time. It takes a long time for it to get soft. There were spots where I would just barely touch it and it went through, so it was still very rotted. No big deal. I took some pictures of it, sent those over to the listing agent, And I just let her know, hey, there's just a few concerns. It just looks like instead of being replaced, it was covered up. And she said, hey, why don't you give me a call? So, okay, I'll give you a call. I gave her a shout, and she starts going off on me about how we asked for this and that. And as I've explained before, we only asked for 3 things, not very many. And it was a safety issue, a code issue, and an insurance issue. And we agreed to pay for half. So she's saying all these things, and I just reassured her. I was like, hey, I just want to make sure we close on time. We do close next week. February 11th is our closing date. So I just said, hey, I just want to make sure this is good to go, and that it can get approved by when the appraiser comes back out to inspect. She's like, well, I know that I trust my people, and I've sold them a bunch of houses, and they're not the type of people to just cover up. And I said, hey, I'm really sorry if I came across, if I'm blaming or putting blame on someone. That's definitely not what I was trying to do. Like I said, I was trying to make sure that things can pass the inspection and we can get to closing on time. I did also state that as well. If I was her as a listing agent, if I hired someone to do a job for me and I pay you money, I want a good job done. That's me protecting my sellers, right? If I was in her position, and me personally, I wouldn't be happy with this work. And if that's the case, we would just need to get with whoever did it and figure out what's going on and get it taken care of. So I did also ask her, hey, have you been out to take a look at this? I know I've sent you pictures. I did send her a couple videos as well, but did you personally come out and take a look at this? And she is a seasoned agent. She's supposed to be one of the top seasoned agents around here in town. And she told me no. Okay, so the main reason why I'm making this video and want to talk about all this stuff is a few lessons here. It does not matter to me if you are new, if you are seasoned. These are things that we as realtors should be checking on the work, doing our due diligence, making sure everyone's taken care of. And at the end of the day, it is our job to make sure that we have your best interests at heart. So as the buyer or the seller, I need to make sure that who we're hiring as a seller is doing right by my sellers or my buyers. I need to make sure that things are replaced the way they need to be replaced so we can make the deal happen because we want the house. So she said she didn't look at it, so I sent her the pictures over, but she wasn't too happy with me. But at the end of the day, we are going to get it replaced. Like I said, I realistically just want to make sure everyone knows, please, please, please do your due diligence. It completely prevents these problems. And as well, if you happen to make a mistake and you didn't do your due diligence and, things like that, please don't yell at other realtors. We're all out here working together. A simple, hey, I didn't know that happened. Let me stop by. Let me look at it. Let me see what's going on and confirm what you're saying. And that's really all it takes instead of yelling at someone. So, but like I said, I really just kind of wanted to give a lowdown. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But like I said, we're getting everything situated. We're going to be closing next week. But it was kind of a sticky situation where we had to navigate correctly. Like I said, don't put blame on people, but it doesn't matter if it's your fault about the problem, but it's your responsibility to fix it, right? So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much.